G'day, I'm Sean. Welcome to Cool Cars here on GiltrapTV. It's been a huge week for new cars reveals, both in the UK and here in New Zealand. We're of course also getting set for a huge Cafe 66 at Catalina Bay this Sunday. Anyway, coming up in today's episode, McLaren christened their latest hypercar and we welcome the 620R to New Zealand, and also everything you need to know about the new Bentley Bentayga. And of course, plenty of cool cars and great deals. First up, news, and Skoda have been selected with their Superb as the new patrol car for the New Zealand Police. It's the wagon that will do service with both the two-wheel drive and the Q-Ship 4x4 206 kilowatt version. And it's not just the space on offer, but the green credentials as well. The Skoda is estimated to improve the police's CO2 emissions by nearly 39%. Also unveiled this week, the McLaren Artura, the new hybrid supercar. Comes with a V6 that will replace the esteemed V8. Now this was the one codenamed the P16. It is due next year. And we can now welcome new mobility to New Zealand with Sixt. It's the first true mobility service of its kind here, bringing Kiwis a fresh alternative to car ownership with a new car subscription offering and an ultra-modern, carefree level of car rental. It's all about removing the hassle and delivering maximum flexibility. The range of cars is impressive, as you can see, and they're all brand new. Now later on we'll look at the McLaren that's just arrived at McLaren Auckland. It's the 620R, but first let's talk Sunday and Cafe 66 at Catalina Bay. We do hope you'll join us Sunday from 9 till 12. It will be New Zealand's biggest lineup of supercars. You've got my word on that. And we have some awesome machinery coming and we would love to see you there. And a reminder too that your Cool Cars email is all you need to enjoy great ripe coffee and snacks every Saturday between 9 and 11 at 119 Great North Road. Of course, the home of Aston Martin, Lamborghini and Bentley. And speaking of Bentley, a big launch night for the new Bentayga at Bentley Auckland. What a launch night it was too, with a night in fact. Sir John Key joining the team from Bentley Auckland and customers to take the covers off the first new Bentayga in New Zealand. I caught up with Derek Bennett from Bentley Auckland to find out more. It's you could say a facelift.
It is, well, yeah, maybe facelift, but if you look at the front of this car and you compare it to the previous one, it is entirely different. It's got more in common with the Continental GT. The front of the previous car had a slightly more sort of, it looked up at you a little bit more, whereas this car's got more of a flat front to it. So actually, the side profile.
Here's one we prepared earlier.
Oh look, there's one there.
Yeah, conveniently.
How about that?
Yeah, so here's the old one. Still a handsome car. It's amazing how this car sort of grew on us, didn't it, over the years? That's
right. And this car, if you look at this, had the eyebrow front. You see this eyebrow here? And that's what they introduced on the Continental GT after the first, so the Generation 2 GT had this eyebrow. This is the washer jet, which not a lot of people knew, but that's actually comes out on stalks. So that was the previous design, okay, with this eyebrow front. And if you look at the new car here, it now goes back over the lamps again.
Starting to see how big the changes are.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The bonnet, everything's different there, and it's quite good to have the comparison.
That's right.
And you can see the link to that full video on this week's Cool Cars and also on GiltrapTV on YouTube. And at Bentley Auckland this week, this Bentayga Pikes Peak Edition, one of only 3 in New Zealand. In fact, there's only 12 in the world. In just a wee bit, we'll show you the new McLaren 620R. But first, I got on the road this week in the DB11 V8 from Aston Martin. I'm a bit ashamed to admit that I've driven plenty of the V12, but never this V8 version. And I've got to admit, I didn't know what I was missing. Okay, open road. You know, even before you start to push this V8 to hear it bark, to hear it roar, you straight away notice that weight reduction over the front end. There is true agility here. And there's a reason for that. I promise you no more math, but basically the lighter engine meant the weight distribution changed from slightly front bias to slightly rear. Now that meant that the engineers could fettle the suspension, so they've softened up the front end and stiffened up the rear. In simple terms, it's like going from wearing work boots to running shoes. just going to wind the windows down. I really want to hear this V8. We know the V12 sounds incredible, but listen to this. And of course, you can catch the whole video on GiltrapTV or on this week's Cool Cars. And at Aston Martin Auckland this week, this V8 Vantage. It's the X-Demonstrator with just 2,600 Ks on the clock. At Giltrap Porsche, there's a 2015 Cayenne GTS. It's in meteor grey with those awesome 21-inch turbo wheels. And how about this one? It's a one-owner Commodore SSV Redline, immaculate, and of course with that 6.2-litre V8. And at McLaren Auckland, there's this one-owner 720S Storm Grey with McLaren orange highlights. And also at McLaren Auckland this week, we couldn't not talk to you about this car, the McLaren 620R. Luke Newberger took some time to tell us about this car, only 2 coming to New Zealand, and what a machine. It's McLaren's latest road Mac Racer.
So this car is not held back.
So 500 horsepower is the sort of GT4 limit.
In GT4 it's about 410. In
really?
Sprint ECU, which we sell most of our cars, it's about 540, 550.
Right, and then I know that 620 means you got about 612 horsepower, haven't you?
612 horsepower, so that's even more than the 600 LT.
Right, so you've got a road legal car here in the 620 that's actually more powerful than the race car. And I've got to ask, where's it fit in? Because I've done some research. It's more powerful than the 600 LT, which we know is a fire-breathing weapon.
It is, yep.
Wow.
Yep. So the 620R really, I mean, the idea behind it was to take the 570S or the 570 GT4 and make it road legal. So the designers, they had to smooth off some of the sharp corners for pedestrians.
Yeah, if we come around the front actually, this is the bit I love. And I'll talk about the scoop in a moment. I love the roof scoop, because if we do look at the race car, that front splitter is quite aggressive. This doesn't look quite like the ankle chopper.
No, it doesn't. I mean, it's still got the canards on the front. It's got an aero system in the front here with the nostrils, just like the 570S GT4.
We're going to open that bonnet soon, because
yep.
I took a peek earlier. It's really cool, but I know it's sold, but I've got to hear it, Luke.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm looking forward to this. And that's all for this edition of Cool Cars and Great Deals. Enjoy the full videos, enjoy the cars on offer this week, and hope to see you at Catalina Bay.